3D printer. Well, the 3D printer was first created on 1980s, and it's basically the same mechanisms it was invented. It's like a filament that goes level by level. But we're going to talk about a more innovative 3D printer that we found, which solves all of the problems that we have with a traditional 3D printer. This is the usual 3D printer, which works with layers, and it goes on, and it takes like 6 hours or more, and it is very time consuming. Bueno, our clip printer was based from the Terminator 2 movie. The problems that we found is that it takes a lot of time, and the printed parts are weak. The material is weak from the 3D printer, and that's it.
Well, first, traditional 3D printers use powder materials such as nylon, plastic, metal, and ceramic. They take very long periods of time. Sometimes they take from 3 hours to 11 hours sometimes. The processes that the traditional 3D printers use are stereolithography, which is a laser solidifying liquid resins. Another one, of course, layer by layer. That's why it takes a long time, because they do one layer, then another one, and another one until it's completed. Another one is laser sintering, which is the laser. It traces on like a surface of powder material, and it fuses them together, and that creates a solid. Again, layer by layer. And another one is extrusion, which is a process of melting plastic. This one uses filaments of plastic, and it takes a lot longer because it's layer by layer again. But the filaments they solidify once they bond to the previous layer. Yeah. And the printer that we found is, I think it came out, I don't know, 3 years ago, 2 maybe, I'm not sure. But it's called the CLIP. CLIP stands for Continuous Liquid Interference Production. This one, different from the others, it takes 6.5 minutes to print out a traditional 3-hour printer job. No? You get me?
Yes.
Okay. It's 25 to 100 times faster. It's the materials that they use. It makes the object more consistent, and it prints them out smoother, and it's solid in the inside, because this process doesn't print them out in layers. It prints them out in just one shot. Well, the components are 3: pool of resin, a transparent permeable window, and a digital light projector. Well, the first one is the pool, and well, it's a pool of resin, and that's the material that the object is going to be made out of. Look, that's the example. Under here, well, you can't see it, but like right here is this is where the window is. It's at the bottom. What happens is that this resin, the light projector is also at the bottom. It's beneath the pool. So when it shoots ultraviolet light. So it solidifies the resin. There's this thing that, well, this one is called a stage, and this one goes down, and while it goes up, the object is forming by itself. Because again, the ultraviolet light, when it shoots out like in the shape of the object, and then so when it's going up, the object it just like rises. But the window is permeable because oxygen goes through it. You need oxygen so that it won't so that the resin won't stick at the floor of the pool. That's basically how it works. Let's see. And yeah, I mean it takes a lot less than traditional ones, like 6 minutes compared to 3 hours. And well, you can use different plastics. For example, you can use plastic, and one of them, for example, elastomers. Elastomers, I don't know how to pronounce it, but that gives you elasticity. So that makes, you can make it like a bouncy ball or something. And some other plastics can be very resistant to heat, and they can print out like car parts for the motor or for the exhaust. You don't know. You can get creative with that. And well, that's basically the function of that.
This is a new product, so it's just being tested yet. So we're gonna talk about 2 examples of where it's being tested. The first one is at Ford, and one of the main problems of the traditional 3D printer is that it cannot be used for mechanical use, because I don't know if you have seen something 3D printed, it's just like a lot of filaments, so it's not very useful. So this machine makes something very solid. So for example, Ford, when they saw it at first, they were impressed because it was like if the plastic was ink injected. I don't know what's the term, like you do like a mold. So it has like the same quality as a mold, but it's like way faster. And it's very impressive for them because they were saying that they lose a lot of time, like making for example, you design something in the computer, and in order to bring it like to physical, there's not like a direct bound. So this helps a lot because you don't have to make like the mold, and you can test the mechanical features. So Ford needed something that can withstand extreme temperatures because the cars need to be like maybe in the Arctic or maybe in the extremely hot temperatures. So this 3D printer helps with that because you can put a lot of different polymers and not just the traditional plastic that 3D printers use. So for example, this is an example of one of Ford's uses. They needed to extract something from the oil tube, so they quickly designed it and printed, and like in an hour they already had everything and it was working. So they are investigating more in order to actually putting them in cars because that could save a lot of money. And another example is for like commercials. This is a designer for movies and they use it to make like tiny parts for a commercial that they say they had like a little time to make. So it's like this. So instead of making everything hand, they just print it part by part and they just assemble it, and it's way faster.
You guys want to see a video of how it works? It's
Yes.
kind of fun.
like the same layer by layer, but
That's the
has-
traditional one.
You can connect the audio in there and turn on the bottom switch. The one in the bottom.
But I don't think mine works.
Oh, okay. All right, that's
Maybe
okay.
it does, maybe it does. No. Sorry.
You did come.
Yeah, it's connected.
Abajo no está.
Oh, yeah.
Ajá.
Yeah, yeah. You get it.
I've heard that this method is quite much expensive.
I think so. Yeah.
Like compared to the additive.
But if you
plastic.
like take all the advantages, it's cheaper because you save time and you save a lot of material. It has like less waste.
Okay. So the same resin you can reuse it.
The moment, so
Yeah, because you don't, yeah, as you can see, you don't use all of the resin, so you can reuse it, like right there. He's not using it all of it. He's not using all of it.
Right now, 3D printing. This could be a big deal because it's a lot
You
faster.
can use it again.
It works in minutes instead of hours.
and if you can use this to make like massive things, like a lot of instead of injecting, you can save a lot of money and time. Do you have any questions about this?
If I want to make a little toilet,
You can make one.
this. Okay.
For what?
Sí. Pero una maqueta me imprimió uno chiquito.
Oh.
Por eso.
Okay, so guess we're done. Thank you for listening.